Hello. This is my response to 3.5 about the effects of marital status on parent and teacher interactions. And I touched on this in a little bit on my response to 3.1, but we really have to be careful as teachers about our misperceptions that we make, assumptions. We know how the saying goes about that. Forgive me. But that because families look different than they ever have before, and just assuming that a parent, just because they're single, means they're not able to be involved necessarily. That's not always true. But their involvement may look different, and so we have to change our bias that we have as teachers. These studies that you presented really talked about delineating the research from being single parents to looking at education levels and looking at socioeconomic status, because those things truly seem to be affecting children's achievement more. Doesn't mean that marital status doesn't affect it at all, but that basically the survey showed dual parents are getting the same results as the single parents are, especially if there's a low socioeconomic status or if there is a lower education level in the home. So, the other thing that I hate to say it's obvious, but that the study showed was that majority of the moms in dual parent homes are the ones who are the most knowledgeable about the children's education, and in single family homes it's typically mothers who are raising the children. The mothers who reported on the survey that they were asked to do more informal at-home activities, as were referenced in 3.1, were single parents and more black mothers. So, there's just a lot of research around why certain people are being asked to do things. Is it because of a misperception? Is it because of the desire on the parents? Are there black mothers and single mothers who are wanting to work on things with their kids at home, and so they're requesting those activities? So once again, it goes back to training, and we've got to teach teachers about parent involvement and the importance of it, how it makes their life easier. That leading teachers are teachers that just innately want to reach out and know that working with families is the best for the children. So, in order for lead teachers to look at children as individuals, the marital status of the kids' parents shouldn't come into play. And when we can get away from those stereotypes of looking at what children, what their family structure is, and making some general assumptions about that, the parents will then see us as being more helpful and will follow through on some of the things that we ask. Once again, if the teachers are looking at the kids' behaviors and that's how they're judging the parents, then those teachers are just continuing to perpetuate the stereotypes. I always like to say people can't rise to low expectations, and so that's another characteristic of those leading teachers who have been trained in parent involvement or do have that innate sense about them, that they are able to make parents more aware. Their interactions with parents help parents understand, and those parents will then in turn rate those teachers higher. So I wanted to share with you another study that I found interesting, when I was looking at marital status and how it does affect, and obviously there is something that it does affect, but you can't just look at marital status. You've got to talk about the education level of the family, and you've got to talk about the socioeconomic status of the family. You've got to talk about the family's cultural values. But this study actually looked at the types of breakups that were occurring now, and about you know, a divorce where there hasn't been much conflict in the home, and we say, oh, it was a nice amicable divorce. Those actually can create a lot of stress for kids because their life has just been smooth sailing, and then all of a sudden it's disrupted. And where the study showed that when there's been a lot of conflict and drama in the home, and the child has lived with the parents' constant fighting, and then there's a divorce, there's some relief for that child. That child's life is no longer in upheaval. So there's actually, they see positive effects in academic achievement in some of those children. So it's more than just looking at one thing. Just like we're all individuals, and that's my big soapbox I'm not going to get on. But we can't just look at one tiny aspect of a parent or a family's structure to determine why they're involved or not involved in their child's school. So I am passionate about this subject, and I enjoyed reading about it and studying it, and I look forward to sharing my presentation next week. Thanks.